So, what do I want to talk to you about today? I don't know. Um, I was thinking earlier, like, I don't really want to kind of come across in these like some hopeless romantic or like not really the person I am, if you know what I mean, or like as though I'm trying to put on like a facade of being really mature or something, and not being who I really am, which is a silly idiot. And I don't know. I'd love to be able to introduce you to everything about my life and to tell you everything that's happened to me, um, to the best of my ability, and to tell you all about what my childhood was like and the difficulties I went through as a kid. You know, always feeling that I was the odd one out somehow, or that there was always a kind of a social milieu or social dialogue between groups of people in my surroundings about me that I was just oblivious to, or not oblivious to because I sensed it, but like just not clued into, and always feeling like an outsider. And I touched on this in the last one as well. But yeah, I do think we might share that. I don't want to sound insulting, but yeah, I don't think we're people who are on the inside. We're not in the swim, are we? I was a bit of a loner. Well, my secondary school for a bit at the beginning, and yeah, I am quite solitary. No, I love people's company. I really do. I do love company. Spend a lot of time on my own. A lot of time with myself, my own thoughts. It's not good, I don't think. I don't want to be alone all the time. I don't want to guilt you into anything. You just make a decision that you don't feel happy with, or you feel you're being pressured into something. I just, I do need to resolve my life because, yeah, as I've touched on as well, like bringing you into it, very difficult, I think. It might be very difficult for you. I live quite a hard life. I mean, I'm trying to be a herdsman and I don't have a car. It's very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. And the pavement I've pounded pursuing comedy, the unending train stations in my memory, the constant trains and walking, bus and taxis. Writings. But I'm very prolific as a poet. I've written, loads of stand-up as well that I want to do. Um, don't know. Yeah, well, it's time and opportunity, isn't it, to do it? And like fitting farming into all that, like it really feels like it needs to be an either or. I'd have to scale it back to doing something like more like poetry, but then again, I'm thinking. I think maybe I want to write 7 books in total, and I've written like 2 or maybe 3 at the moment, more or less. Then how many collections of poetry would there be? Like 4 or 5. So added onto the 7, that's like 12 books. How do I do all that? It's tricky, very tricky indeed. I want to say my love views are a distraction. I don't see it in that way at all. I wouldn't. I would see it as the end in itself, or what I hope for, to be with you, and to have a share in one another's life, and be best buddies forever, best friends, Sam and Amanda and Sam, Amanda, Samantha, Emmanuel. Emmanuel. A duel between two men. Our relationship. Is that like a good thing though? Like a duel? Maybe we could, like, if we have an argument, we could settle it by like combat. Like we could do it like an Indian leg wrestle. If it's something smaller, if it's something really big, maybe we could fight with sticks. And maybe have pads on or something, like hockey pads. I don't know. Whatever you like, really. Or plastic sticks. Maybe wood would be a bit too hard. Like, something that you like take from the spanky spank of bondage, but, to level it up to actual, like, combat fighting sticks. They just say plastic. And we do, like, some sort of weird martial art we invent between ourselves. I was having gained working knowledges of jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and so on, wrestling, boxing, and like incorporate weapons into it. I would Krav Maga as well, so and borrow from that and create some sort of like weird new martial art. Yeah, his basis is the stick. I don't know. I go off on very bizarre tangents of thought all the time. And I don't know. I don't know what. It's so odd. Fucking strange. Like looking at my face now. The smiley more on this side than on this side. I think I've got Bell's palsy. Or maybe I'm a hypochondriac. Do those even mutually exclude? I've got an odd face. And like, if you have any interest in yoga, by the way, yeah, this is a really important point. Milking is fantastic for flexibility. It's all high reps, low weight stuff, endurance-y, lots of moving around for hours and hours and hours. I like this. It's a little bit like waiting actually in bar work. I don't know what, maybe like that's why I gravitate towards milking. I don't like being on a tractor all that much. I don't want to be sitting down at work. Not really. I mean, and then most of the rest of farming is tractors. There's just like sheep or pigs, really, or chickens. But cows, yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's like, it's the pace of milking very often. It's quite, I like that. That's good. That's what I want from work. What if like I'm moving around doing something, and it's got that kind of pace from hospitality, the hospitality sector. But what it doesn't have is the fucking customers. As the cows are the customers. But they're not really the customers, they're more like beasts that are the property of the business. They're part of like, yeah, it's a little different. The customers obviously the milk, the dairy, that the milk gets sold to. You'd love milking, I reckon. You'd like yogurt-y and spindly. Yeah, it'd be perfect for you. If you're interested in yoga, definitely. You must milk. I'll teach you how to milk. I'll impart to you all my 1 year's dairy herdsmanship experience, if I can. Like, and I don't know, diseases of the cow, calving, was it Metritis, DA, liver fluke, and milk fever. I don't know. There's one other one which I can't remember. There's always one I can't remember. There's like 5 or 6 major ones. It's about 3. See, my brain was like a sponge once. Now it's more like a greasy, sodden, dripping old sponge full of grease, or like full of crap, like bits of sitcom and movie quotes and the opening lines to novels. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic, but I mean, I'm also quite a somewhat unique person in my generation. I think I think very few people have pushed themselves to do something with against quite as much adversity as I've had on various levels, and I think exceptional people are made through trials of great adversity, and that the path for people who have a huge contribution of some sort to make, their paths through life are often beset by great challenges and great obstacles. And I've faced those, I think. I've been tested by those. So I'm not, I mean, loads of, like, as degrees in Britain, I've studied a first year of an English degree, and it was about as easy as 1 A level. The problem with it is they make it too easy. They don't give you enough essay practice, and they're not constantly drilling you with essays and really make you think about the text more and more and more. It all kind of rests on a few little things. It's like 1 A level, it's like one set of coursework and a couple of exams at the end. It's basically an A level. So what you're studying for, it's a 3-year A level. There's 1 A level's worth of work. It's dreadful. It's a total con. So we need to be better than that. We need to be more insightful when it comes to people, and we need to be more empathic. I think I'm getting there with that. I mean, all this personal development stuff, there's like so many different bases to cover with it, I think. And I'm pretty certain I started off with Asperger's syndrome. So that has like redoubled the the difficulty with a lack of insight into social situations and a lack of social imagination, right? And the ability to effectively imagine what society, or in what esteem society holds you, or what society's opinion of you is, if you care about that sort of thing. Which I presume I did or do. But then again, I tried not to. But then I think I learned at UEA, University of East Anglia, that actually if you try not to and you do ignore it, maybe other people's opinion of you is something that might get you killed, or could get you killed, or even if there's money involved, and yeah, you're being deliberately put in a very vulnerable situation in that way. They're doing that for whatever reason. They want you dead, money, inheritance, whatever. And it's, how do I put this? It can make life very hard to navigate and very fearful or terrifying even, very often. But it also furnishes you, I think, on a level with the sort of insight into human beings that most people wouldn't get exposed to very often. Or you see psychologies of a more exotic variety exhibited more often in quite unusual situations. You see more unusual psychology this way, I think, dealing with people like this in this sort of situation. So maybe I should study fucking psychology. Do you want me to be a psychologist? I don't know. And give up all this physics rubbish. I don't want to be a herdsman, actually, also. Herdsman psychologist. Or psychologist relief milker. Because psychologists, particularly for the NHS, don't actually make all that much money. Nowhere near as much as psychiatrists. And I do enjoy milking still. And like, I've got that sort of autistic, I think that connection to animals that Temple Grandin describes. I love animals so much. I adore them. I love my little kitty cat. Growing up, Pippin, who died recently. Loved, well, not actually Yakina, my dad's collie, but I mean, my mum's collie, Tessa. It's just the greatest doggy that's ever existed. The loveliest dog ever. She's wonderful. She disappeared after my mum and dad's divorce. That's another issue. One of many. And yeah, it's crappy very often. Life. But yeah, it's I do something now that speaks to me, that fulfills me. It gives me a great sense of satisfaction and enormous was it like life satisfaction? Because I mean, for one thing, it's physically demanding. That's the other bit also. So you do. For the first 6 weeks or so working on a dairy farm, like it's tough going physically, and like it's a real strain on your body if you haven't done it for a while. But after those 6 weeks, I reckon your body adjusts to it, like the endorphins kick in and stuff, and you start feeling really, really good, like often, and you're like, it's like you're walking on a cloud or something. It's great. It's like always being high. It is being high. It's being high on like increased muscle mass, endorphins, everything else just make you feel really good. And being outside in the countryside, it just could not be good, bad for you. It could not be bad for you on any level, I should have said. I probably would have said. But yeah. On no level could be being outside in fields of fresh air, in nature, or in like what is roughly the closest one you can get to nature in Britain, in most cases, at the countryside. There's like open moors and so on, which is not farmed off, well, necessarily. Or can be a little bit, I don't know, but often isn't. Yeah. And like real wilderness, which we don't have a lot of. But yeah, the countryside is. I don't want to live in a city at all. I don't like them. It's not that I'm afraid of them. I find them enclosed, claustrophobic. They're crammed full of people all the time. There's people everywhere. I don't want to always look at people. Don't want to look at them all that often. Really. I want to look at hills and fields and things. And buildings and adverts, cars, noise. Like, it feels like you're breathing less pure air in a city. Which I think is probably almost certainly the truth. And farming. And like you're stuck at desks, like certain little bods I know from school. I'm a computer taking phone calls and like No, no, I don't want to do that shit. My hands dirty. I work outside with animals. That is the thing. That's really good. That's a really cool thing to do. I love what I do. I'm so glad I do it. I'm so glad I got to do it. And yeah, like, no one supported me in doing it at all. Or a little bit they did. Well, my mum's carer's boyfriend took me there, to my mattress there. The first job. That was it. Oh, great. No help from my dad at all. I don't know, like, what like his fucking idea was for my life or his expectations of me. He's become like a barrister or had to have some white collar job in the city that pays well. Like, I don't want to do that. Stupid. It's ridiculous. No, I don't really want to do. I love it. I'm so happy. And I'd love someone to share that with me. And I reckon you'd be the one to share that with me, Amanda. If you want your flexibility in yoga fitness, I reckon you need to give dairy a good try. And I reckon I'm the guy to do that with. So please get me. I love you. I love you. I love you. No, but I don't like gush over you as well. So like,